Hi, my name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman and Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan, and today we continue our video series designed to educate and inform the public, so please subscribe to our channel. There are different types of divorces. Some fall into the category of contested, some are non-contested. A lot of times people will call up and say, we have an uncontested divorce with kids, and it's all worked out. It's no problem. And we want to find out what the procedure is, how much it will cost, how long it will take, etc., etc. You have to understand one thing. If a divorce is truly non-contested, meaning that the parties agree on everything he says is fine with her, or vice versa, well, then it'll be relatively fast, relatively painless, relatively inexpensive. The problem is that for people who don't get along, who are going down the divorce road, it's very rare that the one thing they agree on is how to resolve the divorce, okay? They're usually not that agreeable, which is why they're going down this road in the first place. Oftentimes people will come in and say, we have a non-contested issue, and I will sit them in front of this desk. They'll come in together to show a unified front, and as soon as they start talking about what their goal is, what their intentions are, what agreement they worked out, as soon as they start discussing the terms, a fight breaks out right in front of me. You told me I would do this. You said you were going to do that. You told me I could have this. How come I can't have that? You're getting the custody? I thought I was getting the custody. All of a sudden you realize it's not uncontested. It's not non-contentious. In fact, it's very contentious and it's contested. Okay? So you have to watch out for that problem. Now, it's not impossible to have an uncontested situation. Certainly parties can sit down at the kitchen table. They can decide the major issues. The best kind of divorces are the ones where people come in and say, okay, we've talked about everything that we think is going to be relevant. In this case, we don't know if we covered it all. We're here to talk to you about that, but here's our agreement. Boom. They show you a piece of paper. And it covers all the custody, all the parenting time, support, property issues, this and that. It is possible to do that. But in order to do that, like I said, you got to sit down, you got to work through all the issues. It may be advisable to at least first speak to a lawyer to find out what are the things you should be talking about. There are some things that people tend to miss. For example, people might agree that, well, we're both working, I'll keep my 401k, you keep yours. Someday when we retire, I'll have mine, you'll have yours, and that'll be it. The problem is that they've been married together, and one person's been really stockpiling their 401k, but the other couldn't because they needed the money to buy groceries. At this point in time, when you're divorcing, the one guy has 401k worth $100,000, one's is worth $2,000. That's not really fair. There should be some level of equalization if that 401k was marital. So you got to watch for that. You got to watch for other things, like who's going to take the kids in terms of exemptions on your tax return. You got to watch for insurance issues. Who's going to cover the kids? Are they both covered by both policies? What if one has insurance, one doesn't? What if one loses their job and therefore the burden falls on the other? What do we do about these things? So, in other words, there's a lot of things to consider. You can have an uncontentious, uncontested divorce. But in order to have it, you got to know all the issues first, then consider them all, then arrive at an agreement. Now, if you have any questions about that, reach out and we'll be glad to help you out.